pops back, just starts taking everything out. Like, don't hurt my dog.
Right, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Luke from technically Floatplane. You'd probably know him from LinusTechTips as well.
Yeah.
We have a pretty fun topic, I think. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
We're going to try and compress it. Is VR dead?
This has been a question that's been asked a couple times. I made a video about this like quite a while in the past, and some people either really liked it or really hated it.
Before that, this video is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club's Daily Essentials Starter Set. This full grooming kit ships at $5 and includes trial-sized versions of the company's popular shave butter, body wash, and wipes, and also includes a solid, high-quality razor and a full set of cartridges. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/gamersnexus to get the Daily Essentials Starter Kit for just $5 and with free shipping, or click the link below.
This event was actually quite interesting for the whole question
We're
of is
at
VR dead?
LTX for clarity.
Yeah, LTX 2018. Yeah. We just had, the event is wrapping up right now. You can see them packing various things up. And I was somewhat involved with the VR booth. And the VR booth had the longest line of anything at LTX, and it had a 3+ hour long lineup. And not only was the lineup that long, but people actually waited that whole time to try VR. So like,
yeah.
we've got cynics like me being like, it's in a dead space, and like maybe VR will come back later. And actually, fairly shortly after I made the original "Is VR Dead" video, a few weeks later, I was invited to go to IEM with Intel. And as like a fun thing, before IEM started, we all went to the Facebook headquarters to go to Oculus.
Oh, okay.
And everyone in the office had seen that video.
Of course.
And were super pissed with me. But then, the one of the ex-bigwigs from Naughty Dog Gaming was there, and is now a big guy at Oculus. And he gave a speech to all the influencers that were there about how, like, VR might not really be ready yet. And so maybe in the coming years.
Yeah, vindicated.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, so it might not be the most consumer-friendly thing right now, in my opinion.
Right.
But seeing the 3+ hour long lineup was actually quite interesting.
It's pretty eye-opening, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that we forget easily, having access to VR.
Yeah.
Is like probably 90% of the potential audience has barely tried it or not tried it at all. 3 hours to play for 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess there's still potential there. Before the mass push of the Vive and the Rift and everything, we did a video at CES years and years ago talking about how we didn't think VR was ready yet.
Yeah.
We got so much shit for that video.
The community does not like it when you say that.
But honestly, like, I do think it's interesting technology. It's done a lot. It's actually like you can actually play it and really get into it. I know you were into it for a while.
Yeah. I'm still into it. It's just, and it absolutely has a future. It's just I just think the consumer space, and the numbers back this up, the consumer space isn't really ready for it yet. But it's still, every single time we have an event like this, it's reawakening a little bit the like, you get to see someone try it for the first time, you get to see their reaction.
Yeah. It's
really cool every time. And like there was a kid in line talking to me for a while about how he had tried cardboard VR.
Yeah.
And that's it. And he comes out, he's like, wow, it's so much different. I was like, yeah, of course, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's sort of two main problems, I think, anyway. Two main problems. One is obviously accessibility.
Yeah.
And like, fitting it in your house falls into that, where it's really expensive, and it's even more expensive to have a spare room.
Yeah, and even for me, it's not even necessarily the like spare room issue. I live in a basement suite. It has fairly low ceilings.
Yeah.
If I ever went up with a controller, I would punch the roof.
Yeah.
So I have to constantly think about like, don't reach upwards. There's not that much like technology you can buy for your house that you might destroy things with. Like, I don't know.
The other problem too is quality of games.
Yeah.
And I think some of this comes down to just developers need to learn how to build for VR.
Yeah.
As opposed to building the games they already do and then trying to shoehorn VR into it.
Yeah. It's a new medium, and a lot of times when you get a new medium or a new type of system or platform or something like that, you have a while where everyone tries to adapt what we already have to it.
Right.
And that's not the greatest time. And then you get people going like, oh, this is a new, completely unique angle that we can approach it with, and that's usually where you get your good stuff from.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some cool things. Robo Recall's really good. Beat Saber. People are super into Beat Saber. Like, there's a boxing game that Linus wants me to get into, and he uses for cardio. and it's just like a cardio boxing simulator.
Oh, and it uses VR.
It uses VR,
okay.
yeah, just to make it more exciting. And like, there's definitely stuff out there, but yeah, there isn't like the killer app.
Right.
There isn't the like Halo 1 from the original Xbox.
Yeah, that's a really good
kind of
comparison
situation.
too.
Yeah. And it's I don't know. So
finding a way to make the games fit the platform, I guess,
Yeah.
instead of the other way around. Like,
and I think to tie into exactly what you're saying, Beat Saber does a pretty good job of that. Yeah. And some of them do.
Yeah, and Robo Recall, I guess that's it, right? I think I played that one ages ago.
Yeah.
There are a couple good ones, but still a matter of getting actual attention from people beyond just like 3 hours in a line at LTX or whatever, which is also super cool.
Yeah.
But it's only 10 minutes and...
Yeah, I feel bad for everyone in the line.
Well, I mean, like, to be fair, in order to reduce the line, you'd have to basically cut the demo time.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem too, is you really can't have a 5-minute VR demo.
It doesn't capture the whole thing. So I think one thing, we tried to set it up so that there was like one triple-headed VR. There's one computer running Unraid with 3 systems on it, blah, blah, blah. And then like no one actually cared about that at all. Everyone just wanted to play VR.
Yeah, right.
So I think next year we'll come with like probably maybe
Multiple
5
systems.
separate systems, run 5 different setups, try to get way more people through, probably still 10 minutes, which makes it really brutal for the line. But like you were saying, there isn't really the value there if you're just doing it for 5.
So if you, for VR to really, I don't know, to actually regain traction like it had a couple of years ago. So we talked about VR briefly at CES a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
And I guess the question I have is, do you think we'll have to go through the entire process again of like the whole building all the hype, dump all the marketing money into it, build new technology, or is there enough of a market there now where people can kind of pick it up?
I kind of have a feeling, I don't know, I'm definitely not a market expert.
Neither of us are experts. We're just spitballing.
Yeah, exactly. But my like assumption of how I think it's going to go is that we already had the hype, so that it's a household name. Mm-hmm. There's already been like the advertisements for Samsung Gear VR on the radio.
All the parents know what VR is.
All the parents know what VR is. We've broken that threshold, which is good. So I think the next push will probably be a slower one.
Yeah.
Market adoption will start picking up a little bit more. The price is going to come down. The ease of access is going to go up. The problems are going to start diminishing, like all that kind of stuff. And then just more and more people are going to start adopting it. Your friend has one. You play it at his house. You pick it up. I think that it will be the next stage. I don't think we're necessarily there right now.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is definitely happening, but not at the scale that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It would need to be quite a bit more. But yeah, I think it'll be a slower hype ramp.
It's also kind of chicken or the egg thing where companies aren't, I don't know, they're not going to want to invest in it if they think the return will be the same as the last 6 months of VR.
Yeah. And that's an interesting point. I'm going to take that and bring it to Bethesda.
Yeah.
Bethesda's a very controversial company in the community.
That's accurate.
Horse armor, the paid mods.
Look how the horse armor turned out, though.
Yeah.
DLC is an entire industry now.
Yeah, actually, I guess they kind of knew it was coming, but people like to go after them, and some of it's valid and some of it's not, I guess. But it's Todd Howard making fun of people saying that there's bugs in his game was probably not the right way for him to go, but whatever. Anyways, Bethesda is, and some other companies, but Bethesda definitely is championing VR super hard. Like all their games are coming out with VR versions. The ports for Fallout 4 and Doom
VFR.
Yeah, while not perfect, are quite good. And actually, like I think my dad played the port for Fallout 4 in VFR or whatever, and it was one of his favorite VR experiences he's ever had.
Oh, really?
Because he jumps into the game and he thinks it's like, oh, whatever. He's done VR a couple times, and he has the controllers and he has a gun, and Dogmeat comes up, so he crouches down and pets him, and then a zombie comes up and hits Dogmeat. And I don't think I've ever seen my dad like spring into action, like pops back, just starts taking everything out, like don't hurt my dog. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's the ideal experience, except every single time.
Exactly, and that's hard to do. But yeah, I don't know. If Bethesda keeps pushing, and a few other companies keep pushing, and the hardware keeps moving forward, I think it's just going to slowly ramp up.
Right.
And I think it's basically inevitable that VR is going to be huge. just don't know when or exactly how.
Yeah, well, I was speaking with Raja Kadori a couple years ago when he was at AMD, and one of his big things was he was like, I want, I don't remember what it was, 16K VR or whatever before I retire.
Yeah.
So, and that's what he seemed to really believe that's kind of the resolution you needed to feel completely immersed. The game's obviously a completely different issue.
Yeah.
Like having something that's actually fun, but.
And there's other types of like, one thing that I've been saying for a long time, everyone has their like, this is important to me flag that they're gonna hold for VR. And mine is the different types of controllers and the different types of feedback.
That's a good one.
For me, like really early VR when your hands weren't in the game yet, the second you upgraded to the point where you had your hands in the game, that was huge for everybody. If you start getting tracking on people's like feet even, so you can look down and like,
without
you guys can't see this, but like you look at your foot and you actually see your foot moving and stuff, the immersion level goes way up. And if you start being able to feel stuff, like that's when we're getting to like, I don't know when the heck this is going to be a thing.
Uncanny Valley type of stuff.
Yeah, but if like you wear a certain pair of gloves that make it so like when you touch a tree,
it's like a haptic feedback.
It becomes like kind of rough and like, we're pretty far from that, but like adaptive materials.
You could still do stuff. I mean, like people have tried to do stuff with that because it's just like phone technology. It's a haptic feedback thing. Yeah. You could do, a small vibration or whatever in the glove.
That would even help a ton. Yeah. And you can take it beyond there. And there's places where this is actually a pretty interesting one, but I don't remember the name of the guy's YouTube channel. Unfortunately, he's huge. Smarter Every Day. Yeah. Smarter Every Day has a video where he went to a lab at some school. They have this giant behemoth glove, and it has to be plugged into like, I think it's basically like a generator. Yeah. But they'll scale it all down, and it had straps that would pull your fingers back. Okay. So if you go to grip something and pick it up, you actually have to like hold on really hard. Interesting. Because you have to fight against the glove. That's pretty cool, actually. Oh yeah. It's just there's a big freaking box and it's a giant glove. Yeah. They need to scale that stuff down, but like, we're moving in that direction. Yeah. It'd be really cool. Yeah, we'll see. I guess at this point it's a matter of what happens first, consumer adoption or companies just brute forcing it into adoption. Yeah. Which they already definitely tried. Like Intel, AMD, NVIDIA all dumping money into it. They dumped really hard. Yeah. And that, to be fair, that did build a bit of a foundation. Definitely, yeah. And there's some interesting industries that are starting to rely on it fairly heavily, actually. Like, I don't even remember what they use it for, to be completely honest, but one of the guys at LMG, his brother works at a motorcycle helmet manufacturer. Oh, okay. And they use VR for some reason. Some kind of engineering or design or something like that. I don't remember what exactly it is, but I remember they actually bought a secondhand headset off of me because they wanted to like try it. Right. And then they tried it and then bought their own whole setup of new stuff. I don't even know what they use it for. And then there's a highly controversial new company that is planning on using it. This is going to be interesting. See some comments about this. But the wall that America is planning, potentially. Right. They were thinking about making a like non-solid wall where they set up these giant poles and there's sensors on them. They can detect movement and like they can like it's a whatever percentage chance that that's a human or that's an animal or whatever. They want to use people in VR to monitor these areas remotely or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. So there's definitely like surveillance applications and like I'm sure there's drone applications and stuff like that. Engineering and design is pretty huge for it. Like there's a lot of industry is starting to pick it up. And industry tends to come first, not consumer. So I think, I don't know, maybe our industry went about it backwards, tried to force consumer, it could come full circle or something. It might, it could be. Yeah. Who knows what'll happen? Well, there's some thoughts from two complete non-market experts. But honestly, it's just an excuse for me to talk with Luke. So hope you enjoyed it. As always, subscribe for more. Luke runs Floatplane now. If you're not signed up for Floatplane, who can you get there currently? Linus, obviously. Linus, Bitwit, and Tech Deals. Cool. And we've got a few other people that are basically signed up to come on the way, but we want to get the platform more mature before we bring them on, like Paul and JayzTwoCents. Sure, cool. Yeah. So check out Floatplane if you haven't already. Yeah. And thank you, Luke, for joining me. Thanks, man. Good to see you again. Yeah, we'll see you all next time. Bye.